Hi, my name is Hannah. Welcome to Hot Tea and Hardcovers. This is my first time showing face on camera on YouTube, so that's very fun. But it is July, which is mid-year of 2026, and everyone is kind of talking about how their planners have been holding up for them so far this year, thoughts for next year, ideas for next year, all of that stuff. And I am someone who has done a little bit of everything in terms of planning, and I've got right around 8, 9 years worth of planners and journals behind me that I thought would be fun to flip through and talk about. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to post a worst to best ranking of all the systems in this video and everything I think works, doesn't work, and what my favorites are. If you don't believe me, here's the stack that we are going to flip through and talk about today. If you are new to this channel, welcome. I have not been very consistent with posting, but I want to change that because I do enjoy showing people what I'm working on. Other things I do, I read, I knit, I crochet, as you can see from the yarn up here, and I'm learning how to tat. I have a black cat named Mabel, who you will probably see at one point or another in this video. She likes to jump up on the desk and ask for attention. And I live here in the DMV. I live in Montgomery County, Maryland. So a lot of the events I go to are DMV things. I'm also a woman in STEM. I work in a lab right now, and I have for the past year, and I've been working in pharma for it's 2026, so 5 years. So if any of that interests you, my background, my hobbies, what we're about to talk about today, stick around because we are going to get into flipping through all of these systems, talking about where I was in life, talking about what worked at that time, would it work again, and my ranking of my planners that I have used from worst to best. Okay, we have a freshly Lysol wiped desk. It's been way too long since I've done that. Sorry, Mom. And we have our tea for the day, which is just a Starbucks chai tea latte. And we are going to talk about all of the planner systems I have used since 2018. So this is right about 8 years ago. I was a freshman in college in January of 2018. So let's open her up. I saw a lot of these things that you'll see in this planner are ideas from Pinterest, and that is okay. Why are these sticking together? Okay, well, we're just going to leave that like that. I had all of my goals for the year in here. You can see this is very circa 2018. Like, this is very much reflective of the time. For some reason, these pages are sticking together, but that's fine. This was one of my favorite spreads, little sciencey thing. This was very much a creative outlet for me, especially as a sophomore in college. I was taking a lot of intro level courses in my degree. I have a degree in biotechnology. So this was very much an outlet for me to be creative, but also stay on top of things as much as I could. You can see I have some Dutch door situations going on. I think this system works for a lot of people, so I don't want to put it down. But I have learned about myself that I am not someone who's going to want to put this much effort into a planner every single week. And there's nothing wrong with that per se. I know a lot of people love bullet journaling and they have a lot of thoughts about it. But for me, this is just too much to do every single week. Even though this did bring me all the way through May, end of the semester era. And then I did end up using this for this was me planning a marching band show with my co-writer at the time. So again, this was good for a creative outlet. I did enjoy it, but it's a lot of effort to do this every week on top of just life being busy. So this system, the bullet journal system, and we'll get into another one here, is bottom of my list. Simply because there's a lot of effort that I want to put into these things to have it be what I want it to be. I know there's like easy bullet journal spreads and all that kind of stuff, but I am an all or nothing person. So I would just rather give my planner nothing than have to dedicate a lot of time to it. These actual notebooks that I used, I believe this one's a Leuchtturm and this one's a Moleskine. These are excellent notebooks. I have nothing against the notebook brand or the paper or anything like that. The actual bullet journaling system itself, however, I am putting at the very bottom of my ranking. I'm going to go chronologically through the years, and then at the very end, we'll get to my actual ranking, worst to best. So the next planner that I used, this was 2019. I'm going to have to widen this because this is a big chunky planner. This is a happy planner. I lugged this giant thing around with me from all across campus to home, to marching band shows, everything. This came with me everywhere. It is a massive planner. It's very pretty. It's very much my vibe. You'll learn as we go through planners that I love pink. It's my favorite color. But this really worked for what I needed it to be at the time. It was still a very creative outlet, but I had some time blocks in here. I had to-do lists. I had grocery lists. I had to keep track of indoor color guard practices, all of that, keeping track of schoolwork. It was very good for that. And you can see I had all of the stickers and everything to go with it. A lot of people still plan this way in a happy planner in very similar spreads as this. And I'm so happy that that system works for them. This, again, is still too much effort for me now today. You can see my best friend wrote a little note in my planner because I left it open on my desk and we lived together at the time. So it's fun to look back and see what you were doing and the things that you were worried about and keeping track of at the time. This is still to this day one of my favorite spreads I've ever done in a planner. I just think it's so pretty. And then this was my birthday week, so this was pink and rose gold and, you know, all the fun stuff. Here's the funny thing about this planner. Like, you may look at this and see all the things that I'm keeping track of and trying to do. I did not have good grades for the amount of effort that I was putting into a planner for college at this time. Like, it just wasn't it wasn't working for what I needed it to be, even though I stubbornly stuck by it. And you can see, like, I didn't even keep track of what I had to take care of during finals week. And then I abandoned this system after the spring semester. I moved into something else, which we'll go to next. So this isn't the worst system. I think it lands somewhere in the middle on my little ranking, but we'll move to the next planner. So the next planner I used was an Erin Condren undated academic planner. And you can see I got my name customized on the cover. This is a really great layout. You can keep track of your courses. You can keep track of projects. I don't think this layout is quite the same now. I think it's slightly different. But this is also an undated system. So you have to still set it up every month, every week, whatever. But I really, really loved this layout. You've got essentially 3 sections that you can work in. This I used usually to keep track of courses and things going on, um, reminders, to-do lists, and anything I had to study or assignments and stuff like that. And then your Saturday and Sunday are shortened because in theory you don't have classes at that time. But you can see this became a much more functional, much better system for me, especially because this summer I was taking accelerated organic chemistry 1 and 2, which is instead of a 12-week semester, it's shortened down to a 6-week semester. So I really had to stay on top of things, whereas a normal semester, right, your first week would be like one concept. In this type of semester, one day is one concept, and the next day you move into the next concept and everything else. So it was a lot, but this system worked incredibly well, for exactly what I needed it to work for. All of these are pretty much the same, just keeping track of homework and other things. Especially if the summer spreads are pretty boring because I did a lot of the same stuff all of the time. And then we move into the actual like fall semester where things were ever so slightly different. You can see I was keeping track of a lot. I was keeping track of coursework. I was teaching high school marching band at the time, so their games, competitions, practice. And then I think later in this semester too, I joined the college dance team, so I was also keeping track of that. This was a very, very busy semester. Oh, this was also the time that I was a medical technology major. So if you're not aware of what med techs are, medical technologists are the folks, sorry about the shadow here, in the hospital that are running the tests that all these doctors are sending out. So that's, if you have to have a blood test or a urine test or whatever type of testing you need, medical technologists, medical laboratory scientists, or what they're called a lot, are the ones that are doing that work for you. And in that program, usually most colleges that offer this degree path, your first 3 years are coursework at your university. And then your final year of schooling is a calendar year internship at an accredited program. So I went to college, but then I had to look into all of these programs to apply for internships at, which is May to May. You don't get summer off. You finish your coursework in May at your university, and then you immediately go into this. And that's what I was planning to do with my life at the time. And then I switched over into biotech. So this is me keeping track of all of the things that I was applying to. But yeah, I really enjoyed this system. It really worked for me. It is a system that I would genuinely move back into if the layout was exactly like this and it was bound and dated. If they had this bound dated in this layout, I would really consider making the move back to this. I just, where I'm at in life now, I really hate a coil. It gets caught on so many things. It becomes so much bulkier. I really can't stand it. I would much rather something be bound and easier to work with. So that's the end of this planner. Then in the infamous 2020, I stuck with the Erin Condren, but I moved into an hourly layout. I went back into this big, bulky system. And you can see the big stickers start to come back around. But again, this worked for what I needed it to be at the time. this is me keeping track of what courses I needed to take in the spring. I needed something that kept track of a lot of different things. I was also rushing a sorority at this time. So the purple stuff here is sorority stuff, and then also coursework. And then, of course, continuing to teach my kids in the marching band. So that's where as you can see, the time blocks became especially important in this semester. There was so much happening every single day of the week. This was actual rush week. Keeping track of coursework, things that were due. My 21st birthday. And then the infamous 2020 spring break that never ended. And then this is me at home, essentially doing coursework, trying to stay sane in 2020. And yeah, the spreads start to get a little more simple at this time, mainly because I didn't have the motivation to really do them because it was 2020 and I, as most college students, was really resentful that I had to be home to do all of this stuff that I was doing. Oh, and then I did end up taking a summer course in physics so that I wouldn't have to take it at the same time as everything else. So that's what my summer coursework looks like. This was me visiting my friends while my mom and grandma were out to bring her back to Florida. So I was able to see my friends for 2 weeks because our quarantines were going to be able to actually overlap so that nobody would get sick. And then I apparently didn't really use this for a little bit, but then moved back into this in the fall. This was not my last, but this was my last full fall semester, fully in the sorority, also running my major club. So again, time blocks were still very important for this. Yeah, a lot of this is all the same. So I say we move into the next planner system. So 2020 came and went. I know. See, I told you the cat was going to come. Are you in the shot? You want to say hi to the people? Yeah. So then for 5 years, I purchased the same planner every single year. Oops, sorry, Kitty. I didn't mean to scare you. And that is the Erin Condren A5 bound horizontal planner. This was obviously an excellent layout. This was my first one. This was my first one in 2021. Finishing up coursework. This was my last spring semester of college. Some of the things in here I used erasable marker for. I left my planner in a hot car in Virginia, and some of it ended up going away. You can see the stuff that's faded is the stuff that was in erasable marker. But this was an excellent layout. It gives you like just enough to be creative, but also not have to reinvent the wheel every week. And this year saw me through my first ever biotech job, as well as the end of a full coursework, the beginnings of corporate life, ending sorority stuff. And this fall semester, I had one extra class I had to take because scheduling didn't work out in the spring. So I was finishing up college. I was working full time, basically, and finishing up in the sorority. So that was 2021. This is 2022. A lot of the same. I moved into a different corporate job. I was still teaching color guard. I was living with roommates at the time. And a lot of this is all the same as the previous. Nothing really changed in this year as far as layouts, how I used this, and what was going on. The following year was 2023. Still the same planner, but I moved to the DMV area from NEPA. So the beginning of the year, I'm still working the same job. The same things are still happening. But then in, I want to say May, in April/May, I started planning my move here. So as you can see, this was me going to a lot of different apartments, touring different places, and trying to find a place to live because I moved to Maryland on May 12th. And then I started my job on the 22nd. So this started a new season for me of living completely on my own. No roommates, no family around. Everything was just me. And I lived by myself for almost 2 years, over 2 years, before my partner moved down here with me. So everything is very much similar, except I'm having to keep track of a little bit more stuff in these layouts. But again, this worked really, really well. I had no complaints about this layout or anything else in here. So then we go to 2024, still living in Maryland. This is basically the same stuff. I had a slightly different job at this time. I was moved into a different position. So that was kind of different, but everything else in here was basically the same. These layouts all kind of look the same because they're the same planner and nothing has really changed in life enough for this to have changed. But yeah, that's that planner. And then we move to 2025. I bought the same planner. I wasn't as excited about the cover, so I threw some stickers I liked on there, but then I just wasn't feeling motivated in this layout. It stopped being interesting, it stopped being fun, so I stopped really doing anything in it. So then, because I was not feeling motivated in this planner, in this system anymore, I moved into a Stalogy notebook, pretty much doing a bullet journal type system. I wasn't sure what I wanted. I just knew that my previous system wasn't working. I wasn't sure what was going to work for me. So I was printing out like months off of the internet, taping them in here, and then just working on spreads every week. This became my introduction to Tomoe River paper, and also my introduction to Hobonichis and other things. I really liked this paper. I liked the flexibility, but I didn't like the effort I had to put in every week. Like you can see, some weeks are more detailed than others. This is one of my favorite spreads I did. I just think it's so pretty. But as you'll see, I do a lot of the same layout where I have the week over here and then a free page over here, which is very much, if you're into planners, similar to a certain planner company. So as we get closer to the end or the middle of the year in this July-ish era, I made the choice. Oh, this was me preparing for my cat. I made the choice to purchase an Aura Estelle planner because it was midway through the year, there was a sale. And this made me fall in love with Tomoe River paper, these layouts. I really adore this system. You can see this is August was my first month in here. And then these layouts just worked perfectly for me. I just loved them so much. Something else I really love about this system is it is continuous. I don't think that's the right word, but where you get your weeks as you finish your month, you get the next monthly layout, blank pages, and then you continue into that week system. I love that. And then as the year went on, I still really love this system. But as I was researching planners, I came across the, hey, get in there, the Sterling Ink planners, which are a very similar layout to this. And it is what I ended up purchasing for 2026, and it is what I am currently using. As you can see, there's a lot of customization that I have put into this. So I bought the cover. I've been covering it with stickers as the year has gone on. And there was also stickers I put on there in January. I've got this little pen clip with whatever pen is, piquing my interest at the time. And then recently I made this little cord to keep the planner closed. It's got a little friendship bracelet on there and some charms. And then on the inside, I do have a pocket notebook that I can just jot things down in really quick. More stickers on the inside. And then the Sterling Ink planner has all of the normal things that all of these Hobonichi dupes have in the front. The thing that's different is it has all of the months back to back in here. And then it moves into weeks at the end, which I thought I would be cool with, but I'm kind of really hating. I really miss the Aura Estelle where you have it flows. You don't have to move back and forth. Another thing that I'm not really loving about this system is I ordered I think it was the full, where you have like 300 something notes pages back here that I thought I was going to use, but I'm just not. So that's also something that is my bad that's not on the planner company. But the thing that I really, really hate about this system is that I have to flip back and forth to find my month, which I really don't enjoy. So if you're not someone who cares about that type of thing, if you don't mind flipping around to find your month, I mean, this might be the system for you. It is a planner I'm going to finish out. I'm not going to purchase another planner for the year. I'm going to finish this one. I spent a lot of money on this one, but it's not what I'm going to use for 2027. I have already pre-ordered and it has already shipped the Aura Estelle. They're called magnet planners now, but the magnet weekly essential, where it's this exact same layout, the exact same everything. And then I did order some tip-ins as well to go into that. So those are all the planners I have used over the past 8 years. I am going to give a special little shout out to the Erin Condren Daily Duo. My sister gave me this one. because I forget why. I think there was like a misprint or something. But I really enjoyed this when I worked an office job where essentially here's your week, you have your month as well. I can't show you the inside pages because it's got proprietary information in there per work, and I don't want to get fired. So you've got a blank page, you've got your week to kind of do like big ticket ideas. And then each day you get a time block, a to-do list, and then a little blank spot. This worked really well for an office job. I could keep track of meetings, to-do lists, things I was doing, things to look out for on the next day, notes that I was taking in meetings. This worked really well for that. So she gets an honorable shout out for that. And essentially this system works is it's in 6-month blocks where you get January to June and then July to December. So if you are interested in that, this might be for you. Okay, now that we have flipped through everything, you've seen the spreads, you've seen which season of life I was in as I was using these planners. Let's go through my ranking, worst to best, for all the planner systems I've tried. Just to recap, I've done bullet journaling. I have done Erin Condren layouts. I've done verticals. I've done hourly. I have done vertical layouts. I have done bullet journaling, but in a Stalogy format. And I am now into the Tomoe River journey of planners. I did try a Hobonichi dupe a while back. I know there's going to be people who are going to ask me about the Hobonichi weeks. It's too small for me. My sister has one. She absolutely loves it. It is too small for what I need. I have big fat handwriting and I love big fat stickers. It's not enough room for me to do what I need to do in there. So let's get the official ranking of all the planner systems I have ever tried. In last place, I don't think anybody is shocked about this, but the bullet journaling system. It's too much to do every week. I can't be trusted to do it well. I will either give it my all or give a half-assed effort and then hate it and not want to use it. So it doesn't work for me. It is the bottom of my list here. Above her is the Happy Planner in the vertical format. Maybe if I got something smaller, I would have really liked this, but it's ginormous, and I don't think the flow of this planner would work for my life, especially as it is now. I much prefer a horizontal layout. It just works better in my brain, but there's a lot of people who love a vertical layout, so no hate to them, just doesn't work for me, which is why it's also not in last place. So next on my ranking is the hourly layout. Again, this worked really great for the time. I probably would have gotten a smaller planner nowadays, but no hate to this. I just no longer think about my day in time blocks. My schedule's a little bit more fluid nowadays. My time isn't as my time is valuable, but it's not as valuable as it was in college, where I really have to keep track of how much time I'm spending on something, where I'm going to be at this time. Do I need to prepare for this? My life is a little bit more flexible now. So this gets 8th place. Sorry, 7th place. The next one that was my honorable mention is the Daily Duo. I could see myself going back into this planner just as a life planner. Maybe not in this season of life, but in another season of life. I could see myself using this. So for that, she is getting 4th place. Slightly above her is the Erin Condren A5 Student Undated. Like I said, if they made this bound dated, I would go back to it. It worked great. I still think about how much I absolutely loved this system. I still really love this layout. And I would go back to it in a heartbeat. So because of that, this lovely gal gets third place. My third place planner, because I bought it for so many years and it worked for so many years, is the Erin Condren Life Planner A5 Horizontal. I loved her for a long time. I still have fond feelings towards her. I'm not loving the direction that the design is going in Erin Condren. I would like to see something a little more minimal and flexible, if that makes sense. Should the planner go in that direction, I would consider purchasing them again. And for that, she gets third place. I used her for a long time, loved her a lot. Would consider going back if things were just tweaked a tiny little bit. In second place, runner-up for my favorite planner I've used in the last 8 years is my lovely Common Planner. Like I said, I'm going to finish her out. There's nothing inherently wrong with it besides that month thing that isn't continuous with the weeks. That's my only issue in this planner. Only issue. But it's enough of an issue to make me not want to buy it next year, because I know that this same layout, same paper, same almost everything is available in a different brand. And my number one planner over the past 8 years is the Aurostelle Weekly Essential. It is now the Magnet Weekly Essential. The concept is pretty much the same. The cover is different. It's more of a soft leather. This is more of a like pebbled hard leather, but it's exactly the same concept. I can't wait to open mine when it arrives soon, because I got the shipping notification. I got early access and I ordered it, and it's almost here. And I'm so excited to see it because I haven't seen it in like a year. I didn't use it this year because I thought the Common Planner was going to be for me. It's not. But this is the planner I would recommend people. She makes an A5 size in this layout as well. So if you need a little bit more space, imagine this, but this big. This is an A5. So you would get a little bit more space in your planner, but you would have the same layout and everything else. I'm just a B6 truther. I think this is the perfect size. I can't wait to go back into this. I can't wait for 2027 to use this again. And I just loved her. I loved her. We'll see if I use her again in 2028. But this beautiful girl is my favorite planner I've used in my entire adult life. I'm 27. Been using planners for a long time. Let me know your thoughts on my ranking. Let me know what your favorite planner of all time is. And let me know what you're planning for your 2027 planner. Do you want to say hi, baby girl? Yeah, we're talking about planners. Yeah. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I can get some more content out on this platform. I post on TikTok semi-regularly, definitely more regularly than I do on this platform. So go ahead and follow me on that. It's the same handle as this channel. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Did you say goodbye? Say goodbye to the people. Bye.